So I haven't done a Trump legal L's for quite a while because there's just been so much going on. But I'm going to do one now. So I like to get straight to the chase. So we're going to start with the most recent one. It's very exciting. A Trump-appointed judge, Thomas T. Cullen, criticized Donald Trump for his ridiculous lawsuits against the entire judiciary in the District Court of Maryland. Why? Because the chief judge that I mentioned in the previous video, George Russell III, a brother, told the Trump administration, listen here, you are losing your damn mind with this aggressive enforcement. They are denying people's due process rights by hurriedly rushing them along, taking people from the court to the airport and out the country, denying them the rights under the United States Constitution, Fourth Amendment and Fifth Amendment due process to say that before the United States government takes away your life, liberty, or property, irrespective if you're a citizen or not, they will give you the opportunity to defend yourself against any charges that's been levied against you. Opportunity to speak with counsel and time, but you can't do that when you're rushing people off. So he said, you know what, we're going to have 2 days, 48 hours from after you detain someone. You cannot remove them from the country. You have to give them time. So for that same simpler reason, following something that the chief judge indicated was following something the Court of Appeals does, that they have a 2-day waiting period. What the freak is a rush? That's how come they were able to deport those men who got severely tortured for 100 days in El Salvador. A lot of them for doing nothing but existing, for being Hispanic, for having a tattoo, no reason whatsoever. Very cruel. They've sent people to Panama. They sent a bunch of people to just be tortured there and sent off there without access to their food. They're treating these people like subhumans. Evil. Christy, no, all of them evil. There's a special place in hell for all of them. That's where they're going to gather again in Hades for the stuff they've done to their fellow humans. But I digress. And speaking of digress, you can support me by getting my I Digress merch and my I Digress hats, my Operation 2/3 t-shirts, jjlegal.com. Anyway, back to the video. So, yeah. And the judge was like, you know, there's other ways. If you do not like what the courts are doing and you don't like these judges, you can appeal. This trying to sue we're co-equal branches. The federal district court comes under Article 3. Donald Trump is under Article 2. For some bizarre reason, this idiot thinks that because he's president, he can do whatever he wants. And he's a dementia patient. And he's sundowning. And he's forgetting things. We're upset because when Joe Biden did something like small... Anyway, I digress. So that's a win. So he threw that Donald threw that stupid lawsuit out. He said, "Get the hell out of here! You can't sue the federal judiciary branch." Another thing too, which is dumb, is because now all their stupid cases are right back in front of the same judges they tried to sue. Everyone knew that wasn't going anywhere. Judge Paula Zenas, I can't wait till she does her opinion in the Kilmar Gregor Garcia case. So that's a win. Next. Okay, before we move on, I want to note, I follow Kyle Cheney, who is a political court reporter, and he pointed out this footnote from the case where the judge said, indeed, over the past several months, principal office of the executive and their spokesperson have described federal district court judges across the country as left-wing, liberal, activist, radical, politically minded, rogue, unhinged, outrageous, overzealous, unconstitutional, crooked, and worse. Although some tension between the coordinate branches of government is a hallmark of our constitutional system, this concerted effort by the executive to smear and impugn individual judges who rule against it is both unfortunate and unprecedented. We're going to be talking about this rogue, ridiculous, lawless, goonish administration. They're not interested in being... I don't understand. What's the point of doing the government for the United States if you're not going to follow the rules and laws and do whatever you want and throw the Constitution out the window and just abandon all moral compass whatsoever? And that's what happens when you're led by you have sycophants led by a convict grifter who's grifted his whole life and just a racist, sexist, xenophobic idiot. All right, so that's the first case. Spent a lot of time on that case. Let's go to the next one. The next case is, Thacker et al. Versus Donald Trump. It's a class action lawsuit. It was like 6 professors sued the Trump administration over Donald Trump's executive order banning DI research. And the judge said essentially, listen here, these people, you're going to have layoffs, you're going to have graduate programs disrupted, research destruction, damage to professional responsibilities and professional reputations. No. So the after the district court judge issued that they have to give those grants back, it was Judge Rita F. Lynn on June 23rd, 2025, and certified a class, meaning not just these 6 researchers, but anyone who's going to be impacted. So the government appealed and sought a partial stay as to agencies like the Environmental Protection Agency and the National Endowment for the Humanities, to which the judge further said, no, even for those grants, you can't do that because First Amendment is violated. The Fifth Amendment due process, because they just took away those grants. These people were already awarded these grants. Separation of powers. Congress allocates funds. You, the executive, you can't take away funds, impound funds that were already allocated from previous administration by another branch of government. You dumb, stupid fools. Anyway, and so and then it went up to the Ninth Circuit. Ninth Circuit is a pretty liberal circuit, and they're like, no, we're going to not stay that. And they kicked out the Trump administration's request for stay. It's going to go to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court is very disappointing. It's like, I don't even want to. For now, let's just enjoy this win, and I'm happy that these people get their grants back. And they had said it. What happened was the Trump administration had done an indefinite suspension of grants. 2 use. The court says you have to reinstate all those grants. That was August 12th. Winning. Next. Okay, the Trump administration sued the state of Illinois because they have a law called let me get the law right. It's called the Privacy in the Workplace Act, Right to Privacy in the Workplace Act, which says that the E-Verify, which is the government's system to verify that you are authorized to work in the United States, must be prominently presented and posted on the workplace. If there's going to be an audit, meaning asking people to confirm the documents, they have to give 72 hours notice so people can correct inaccuracies, and essentially saying that they cannot pre-screen applicants before a job offer to make sure that they follow the E-Verify. E-Verify is only when there's an audit. So the Trump administration challenged that and said E-Verify should not just be limited to audits and stopped from before you give someone a job. They should be allowed to just, required altogether. And they said it's a violation of the Supremacy Clause. This is what the Trump administration argued, to which the judge Coleman ruled August 19th, we still have separation of powers. The states have the rights, and it's in their purview to determine how they regulate employment practices within their state. And so long as it doesn't interfere with the federal immigration enforcement, which is audits, the audits are still there. You can't tell them they have to abandon their audit system. That's excessively broad. It's crazy. So it threw it away. So they were just trying to expand their federal control over state power over employment regulation. They're going to probably appeal, but right now, that's a win. Next. I talked about this in the previous update, but the General Accountability Office, which answers to Congress, not the executive, not the president, did an audit and discovered there was $8 billion in funding that the Congress had told them to give and disperse among 1,800 grants had been paused for no damn reason. So they told Congress was like, could you start again? To which the Trump administration started the process of realigning and reassembling the review committee to start reviewing those. This is the NIH grants, because they're just like, we're trying to get research. We're trying to cure cancer. We're trying to help people here. What are you doing? What's going on? Like, why are you trying to destroy America and destroy everybody and destroy Americans? What is it? Why are you in government? What's the point of government being in government if you're going to try to destroy the government? Doesn't make any damn sense. So now I'm going to give you a couple of updates on some cases that I've been following. The JJG case, if you don't know, all of the men that were sent to that torture prison in El Salvador on March 15th are represented by counsel. Judge Jim Boasberg certified a class. They have a class representative. The update from the class lawyers said that they had been in communication with the various different men who were there, and a lot of them are dealing with the trauma of what they endured, and they are weighing their options. Some of them do want to come back to the United States and continue whatever asylum application they had pending, because remember, they have family members that are here in the States, but it's taking, it's going to take a while. So that's the update on that. So you should know that they all have counsel, because I know a few people were worried and concerned. So that's the update on that. Now, they are also asking for contempt. So they've also asked for Judge Jim Boasberg, when the order lifts, to continue that contempt order. Now, getting over to, speaking of contempt, Christian, which is the young man who was not supposed to be deported because he was part of a class action lawsuit of kids from Venezuela who came unaccompanied before 2019. A class said that they should be allowed to pursue their asylum application. It takes a while, and they should not be deported until their asylum application is decided. And the Trump administration deported this man. He was one of a young man, the 230 people that were tortured. Now, they've been in communication with Christian, because remember, they sent all those guys to Venezuela in exchange for some American journalists and Americans that were being held by Maduro regime. And so a lot of them are still in Venezuela. They were communicating with Christian because Christian had a court order from Judge Stephanie Gallagher telling the Trump administration to return him. And his lawyers have been communicating with him, and he says he's still dealing with the trauma, and he's not quite sure if he wants to come back, but he's concerned that if he comes back, he's going to be detained. The Trump administration said, yes, if he comes back, he's going to be detained indefinitely. He was like, well, why the hell should I come back if you're going to detain me again? What the freak? He has a court order saying that he should not be deported. So why are you detaining him if he's already been released and been doing nothing? Doesn't make sense. So the Trump administration tried to cancel the case and say dismiss it and vacate it because the kid doesn't want to come back. After they inflict trauma on him, they're trying to rush him along, to which his counselors responded back like, no. This is a traumatic experience. He should get time to think about his options, especially his family here. I would see why he wasn't going to come back here. But to the extent that he left Venezuela seeking asylum from Venezuela, to be forced to stay there is a problem. So I can see how you want to come back. Anyway, so that's the update on that. It's tragic. You should know also that the NAACP, along with the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under Law, have filed a lawsuit against Texas for their racial gerrymandering, which is essentially trying to limit black voters' voice by carving out and eliminating a bunch of black jurisdictions. The South is notoriously bad for this, and hopefully they win that lawsuit. Okay, last, the Friends of the Florida Everglades case. You last heard Judge Kathleen Williams gave the Trump administration 60 days to shut down because they didn't do the proper assessment before they built it. The Trump administration appealed, asked her for a stay. She denied it. They're appealing it. And, try to save this and appeal it. What are you appealing, honestly? What are you appealing? Just shut down and move out and give it a rest. So that was pretty cool. So concludes another legal L's. I'm keeping track of the various different losses against the Trump administration. My name is JJ Legal. It's a pseudonym. I'm in the dockets of the lawsuits filed against the Trump administration and the lawsuits that the Trump administration files against other people like sanctuary states. And we know that a lot of the stuff they're doing just don't even make sense. They're not based in evidence and law. They're hemorrhaging the Department of Justice attorneys. They just file lawsuits against bakers for coffee shops for what they name their coffee. They didn't file it, but they're just making threats, threatening governors to arrest them, threatening political appointees, political opponents, every single thing, just authoritarian. Check out impeachtrumpagain.com. I think they have a nice running list of all the various different ways that Donald Trump has created dereliction of his duty and undermined the oath of the Constitution. Essentially just threw it out. He doesn't understand it. He doesn't care. Kamala was right. She said that when he comes back in, he's on a revenge tour. He's going to, wage war against actual Americans who he was calling the enemies within. He's going to behave like a dictator. He's not going to help you with anything that you're trying to do, not your food prices, gas prices, natural gas prices, your housing prices, your child care. He doesn't understand none of that stuff. He said on the campaign trail, I don't care about you. I just care about your votes. And he's really eroded his base, the people who supported him to stay out of the wars. They kept bragging. He's the only president to not be involved in the war. Now he's gotten us involved physically with the Israeli government attacking the people of Palestine. And he's, that's not true. They say small government. He blew up the government with this crazy bill, huge spending. He's not a party of family values because, the porn star thing. He's also said to them, small government, but he's in everything. He wants the government to take over. First Amendment, they're all about First Amendment. Donald Trump is trying to control the speech, trying to ban journalists, trying to throw out the license of broadcast stations, punish journalists, told AP they can't be in, kicked AP out of the press pool because they won't name it their Gulf of Mexico, which is really super petty. He's petty, small, cankles, cognitive decline, dementia patient that's running the United States government, and he's being propped up by the governor, the scaredy cat Republicans, because they have the ability to end all of this. And his sycophants are unqualified. They're just goons. They're just happy to get their job. They all have one common thing, just to be cruel and just max punishment, destroy the government, destroy democracy. So, and I don't know if they realize it or they don't care, but I cannot wait for the Nuremberg trials. Anyway, JJ Legal, each one teach one. I hope this video was helpful for you. Share it. Check out jjlegal.com. Support me by getting my resources. I'll see you in the next video.